Today, I'm giving you the best pick in every single round of your fantasy football draft. From round 1 superstars to round 12 sleepers, these are the players that win leagues and leave your friends wondering if you're some kind of draft wizard. So buckle up, grab your cheat sheet, and let's run through the perfect draft one round at a time. Round 1, I've talked about a lot of players in this round, and I've probably talked about Malik Nabers too much because even I'm getting tired of talking about Malik Nabers. But we're talking about the best pick in every round here, so I got to talk about Malik Nabers again. Now, I'm not going to deep dive into Malik Nabers here, but I think he has a legit shot to be the highest scoring wide receiver in all of fantasy football. If you can get Malik Nabers anywhere from the mid to back half of the first round of your fantasy drafts, I think you have to do it. Obviously, not many bad picks in the first round, but Malik Nabers is a guy I absolutely love in 2025, and I'm going to draft him every time when I have one of those picks. Now in round 2, I've probably talked about Devon Achane too much this offseason, and I absolutely love him, and he's one of my favorite picks here. But let's talk about Ladd McConkey in this video, because I think if you don't get Achane, who typically goes early in the second round, you can have a good chance of getting Ladd McConkey. This guy was a PPR monster last year as a rookie. He's only going to get better in year 2. Let's not forget, he had to play with Justin Herbert, who had a high ankle sprain and was on the injury report every week from week 3 to week 9. And what do we see down the stretch when Herbert was healthy? Ladd absolutely exploded. And really, I like Trey Harris, but I don't think he's significant competition for targets here for Ladd McConkey, who should once again be a very high floor player with a very good ceiling. Love drafting Ladd in round 2. Now in round 3, I've talked a ton about Chase Brown, but he's got to be my favorite pick in round 3. We're talking about a workhorse running back in one of the best offenses who can also catch passes and is an explosive player. Like, what are we missing here? Like, what don't you want from Chase Brown? Why is Chase Brown falling to round 3? I don't get it. I don't understand it, but he does. And if he's there on the board for you in round 3, you've got to smash that draft button and take Chase Brown. All right, now in round 4, I keep telling you to draft Jameson Williams. I'm going to tell you to draft Jameson Williams again. His new offensive coordinator just talking this guy up about what kind of monster season he's going to have. He had his first 1,000-yard season last year in year 3, which kind of really should be like year 2 because his first 2 years he barely played. Those didn't really count. But now he's entering year 4. He broke out last year. I think he's going to be even a bigger breakout this year. He's got that kind of weekly upside you absolutely want in your fantasy football leagues. In round 4, he's got to be my pick. In round 5, my pick has to be Kenneth Walker. I've talked about him a lot, but man, he's landing in a great situation this year in this Klint Kubiak offense. Since 2021, Klint Kubiak's running backs have averaged the second most fantasy points per opportunity behind only Christian McCaffrey. Kenneth Walker is a great running back. He's a young running back. He's an explosive running back. And last year, he showed he can also be a pass-catching back as he had 46 receptions. And now he gets an offensive coordinator who loves to check it down to the running back. This is a perfect situation for Kenneth Walker to absolutely explode and be a top 5 running back in fantasy. Yes, I said a top 5 running back in fantasy, and you're getting him in round 5. He's the perfect running back that if you're waiting, if you go wide receiver early in the first 3 rounds, he's a perfect RB1 for your fantasy team, but even if he's the RB2, that is still even better, and I think Kenneth Walker is going to smash and is an absolute must pick in round 5. Now in round 6, I do want to say I like Juwan Jennings here, but I like Jakobi Meyers a little bit more. Jakobi Meyers getting a massive upgrade this year, not only with new head coach Pete Carroll, but with new quarterback Geno Smith, who's been top 2 in accuracy rating each of the last 4 years. And we saw Jakobi Meyers last year after Davante Adams left. He was great for this Raiders team. You know I like Jack Bech, but man, Jakobi Meyers I feel is still going to be the wide receiver 1 here, and he absolutely now has a real quarterback, an accurate quarterback who can actually get him the football. I think Jakobi Meyers is about to have the best year he's ever had in real life and for fantasy, and I'm taking him here every chance. In round 8, it's got to be Michael Pittman, maybe the most disrespected player in fantasy this year. I get it. He burned you as a 3rd-round pick last year, but this is a guy who for 3 straight seasons was a top 24 wide receiver in points per game. He's still the clear wide receiver 1 in Indy. He's out there 90+% of the snaps. He's running 90+% of the routes. And last year he was dealing with a major back injury, which doesn't sound like it'll be an issue in 2025. Sure, Michael Pittman, no, he's not going to be like a top 10, top 15 wide receiver, but he's probably going to be a top 24 wide receiver once again. And when you're getting him this late, where he's potentially your wide receiver 3, your flex, maybe a bench wide receiver, that's a value I can't pass on. And if you're ready to get your fantasy football fix on and start drafting right now, you got to check out UnderdogFantasy.com. They have best ball drafts going on all offseason long, including their flagship Best Ball Mania 6, which is going to make multiple millionaires in 2025. Just go to UnderdogFantasy.com, join using promo code ENDGAME, because not only is that going to get you a free pick that you can use among any sport, but also up to $1,000 in bonus cash that you can use to start drafting right now. Now, in round 9, I feel like there's a lot of good QBs here, like Brock Purdy, Caleb Williams, but I can't really pass on Justin Fields in this range because he gives you that kind of rushing upside that can absolutely break fantasy football. Now, yes, I know there's a lot of risk with Justin Fields, but look at it back when he was in Chicago with that rushing upside when he was playing every snap and they were actually letting him throw it a decent amount of time. This guy was a fantasy stud most of the time. Now he comes to the Jets where he's got no competition for QB. Last year in Pittsburgh, they knew Russell Wilson was going to be the guy. They just didn't want Justin Fields to lose games for them early in the season. But even with that, he was on a massive rushing pace in those games. If he gives you that kind of rushing upside, we're talking about 800 plus rushing yards, 8 plus touchdowns to go with whatever he gives you in the passing game, even if it's only 2,500, 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns. That is absolutely going to be a smash pick in fantasy football, assuming, of course, you're in a 4-point passing touchdown league. So Justin Fields, I think, is that late round quarterback that could absolutely smash if you don't want to wait too late in your fantasy drafts. Now in round 10, another running back I've talked about a lot that I love as a late round pick, and that is J.K. Dobbins going to Denver this year. This is a fantastic situation for J.K. Dobbins. We know Sean Payton doesn't necessarily want to just commit to one guy. We also know he loves his vet running backs. We saw that with Javonte Williams. So many people wanted to see Audric Estime be a thing, Jaleel McLaughlin be a thing. But really, Javonte Williams, despite not being a thing, got the bulk of the touches. And we know there's going to be a ton of receiving work in this offense. Sure, I like RJ Harvey, but he's a rookie. He's probably going to take time. And J.K. Dobbins was very good last year. Obviously, the risk here is he gets hurt and misses games, which he probably will get hurt and miss games. But you're drafting him so late here that even if you get what you got last year at this point of the draft, you're going to be more than happy with this pick. Then in round 11, let's grab a tight end that I don't understand why he's available in round 11, and that is David Njoku. This guy's been a top 8 tight end in terms of points per game each of the last 3 seasons. He's got no major competition for wide receiver here. Like Jerry Jeudy's fine, Cedric Tillman's fine, but these aren't alpha wide receivers that are going to command 150, 160, 170 targets. David Njoku is going to get plenty of targets, and whoever the terrible QB is here, they're going to target David Njoku. He's a focal point of the offense. He's an athletic tight end. He's a great pass-catching tight end. He's got yard-after-catch potential. David Njoku gives you everything you want for a set-and-forget potential top 5 tight end, but you get him at a massive discount. And then in round 12, I do like Trey Benson, but Trey Benson is just an elite handcuff, so let's go with another tight end. If you miss out on David Njoku, just grab Dalton Kincaid here. Sure, Dalton Kincaid did not live up to expectations last year, but the usage was still there. 8th in target share, 7th in target rate among tight ends last year, and kind of like the Browns, there's no alpha wide receiver here. Sure, Khalil Shakir is the wide receiver 1, but he's not an alpha. He's not going to get 150 plus targets. There's plenty of opportunity here for Dalton Kincaid. He's now entering that year 3, which is a prime tight end breakout season. I think if he puts it all together and he stays healthy, don't forget he had that knee injury in week 10, he stays healthy, I think Dalton Kincaid is going to live up to the expectations everybody had for him last year, but this year he's a post-hype sleeper that you get at a discount. And then finally, round 13, I'm not going to go past this, but I love Tank Bigsby in this last round as your last pick before you take a kicker or defense if you're in that type of league, which hopefully you aren't. But Tank Bigsby could potentially be the starting running back for his football team. He was great last year, one of the best in terms of yard after contact per rush, one of the best in terms of evaded tackles. And now he's in this Liam Cohen offense, and if you look at it, he profiles similarly to Bucky Irving in terms of he's much better in those man gap runs versus those outside zone runs. And Liam Cohen is going to use him that way in that Bucky Irving role. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Bucky Irving because I don't think he's going to be. But we're looking at a running back who could potentially be getting 15 to 20 carries a week, all of the goal line work, and you're getting them in round 13 where all the other running backs in this range are pretty much just handcuffs only. I think Tank Bigsby is being completely slept on this year in fantasy drafts. And look, if he ends up being like this year's Zamir White where he's not very good, it's okay because you're getting him in round 13. You just drop him and move on. So there you go, the top 13 picks in every round of fantasy football to smash your draft. But of course, there's no guarantee you can get all of these guys in your fantasy draft, so you might have to pivot. Don't worry, we got you covered. All the draft information you need to dominate in 2025, you can find it in our playlist right here.